Hey guys, what's up? This is GooKill TV here. Sorry for recording, literally halfway through a Hearthstone game. I started at least three different recordings at the beginning of this game, just to have something to watch along with, and I wound up making a few mistakes during my last recordings. So hopefully we're gonna nail it this time. This goes to show you my amateur capabilities as a YouTuber, because obviously I don't have a planned script or anything in front of me. But what's going on, guys? I'm making a video today, and this is gonna be a follow-up video to what I posted yesterday, which was my thoughts about the fact that Blizzard is going to be releasing their, well, not releasing, revealing their World of Warcraft expansion at Gamescom next week and not announcing it at BlizzCon 2015. So, yes, I completely understand the disappointment. I know, Blizzard promised you nothing, but I was under the same impression. Hey, they announce at BlizzCon, every 2 years, new expansion. It's Blizzard's baby. They're going to do it at 2015. It's going to be awesome. So if you were someone that maybe had never attended BlizzCon, or if you were somebody that had, sorry, that was a really strange move that warrior made, and I guess that's why he concedes. If you're somebody that had planned on, hey, you know what, I'm not going to go to BlizzCon 2014, I'm going to go to 2015 because I want to be there for when they announce a WoW expansion, I completely understand your disappointment. But I'm looking at this from a sense of optimism, and I'm going to tell you why, and it involves a bit of a story, so be prepared to sit in. I posted this story elsewhere before, but this is an experience that I had at BlizzCon last year, and you're going to have to take my word for it. I have no reason to lie, and I swear to you, I'm not lying. But I do understand that right now, the week before a World of Warcraft revealing, there are people announcing, hey, I'm friends with this guy at Blizzard. Hey, I work near people at Blizzard. This is what's happening for the expansion. They're all over the place. Everything should be taken with a grain of salt. But this is my story as to why we should not be too concerned as BlizzCon attendees for, losing out on a World of Warcraft expansion reveal. So, this story goes back to BlizzCon 2014. I was one of those guys that was way, way too hardcore for anything and got up at 4 in the morning and then was in line at 5 in the morning just because I wanted seats as close as possible to the front for the opening ceremony. So the year before I had done it for merch. This year, that year, I had decided that I was going to do it for the opening ceremony just to say, what, I did it once. And, it was fine. You just end up being really tired. But through the rush and everything, I wound up sitting in my seat. By absolute fluke, I'm able to sit beside my buddy who, would just as easily corroborate this story. So we wind up sitting down, and he's on my left. On my right, there's an empty seat, and beside that empty seat, there's a young man and redheaded kid, and we just start chatting about, hey, you know what? Hey, how about that line? The rush was crazy. Is this your first BlizzCon? Have you ever done that before? And it was his first BlizzCon. So we started talking about, hey, so have you ever played any Blizzard games? Like, do you here because of the fact you play WoW or something? And no, I don't really play Blizzard games. But my dad, who was gonna occupy that empty seat, I guess, my dad knows somebody who works at Blizzard. Okay, cool. So what does that mean? It could mean a bunch of things. But anyway, his dad ends up sitting down and he starts asking us questions about, hey, is this your guys' first BlizzCon? For us it was no. What are you guys most excited about? Well, that week, if anybody remembers from the week of BlizzCon 2014, everybody was freaking out about this Overwatch trademark, and everybody had pretty much figured out it was going to be a new IP, but nobody was really sure what that new IP was. So he goes, oh, yeah, Overwatch. What excites you about that? Oh, well, it looks like it's going to be Blizzard's, new IP. So he goes, oh, yeah, and he's just kind of smiling smugly, and we're like, well, what's so funny? Like, you're having kind of a giggle to yourself. So he's just like, oh, no, I just love hearing you guys speculate, and he starts telling us the story about how he got his BlizzCon ticket. So it turns out that his friend that works at Blizzard was Paul Sams, and if anybody who doesn't know who that is, that at the time was the Blizzard COO, so one of the highest ranking positions in the company. He speaks for a little bit on the 20th anniversary retrospective, if you guys have ever seen that. In any case, so holy crap, yeah, man, like that's a pretty important friend. So he says that he had been asked to go on a tour of Blizzard headquarters, and he could bring somebody with them, so he decided to bring his son. They went and did a tour of Blizzard headquarters, and they said, hey, would you like to come down to BlizzCon? So that's how those guys wound up getting their 2 tickets. And so we're like, wow, that's crazy. Do you know anything? And all this guy had to say was that, well, all I'm going to tell you is that Blizzard has something like 7 or 8 different floors that they work on games, and for us, we could only access 3 of them. They wouldn't let us go to any of the other floors. And we're like, oh, why do you think that is? And he says, well, it's because right now they are working on 2 new games. So we have to pause and wait, what? They're working on 2 new games? It's not just one? It's not just whatever this Overwatch is? So he's just, yeah, it's 2 games. One's kind of bigger, one's smaller. So I guess we'll see what goes on. So we're like, oh, which one is the Overwatch one going to be? And we're freaking out at this point, thinking, oh my god, are we going to get 2 announcements or whatever it is? And he just at that point gets quiet. You guys will have to see. So we kind of pause there for a second, and sure enough, he goes, hey, you know what? My friend's over there. I'm gonna go talk to him now. So he gets up out of his chair and goes over, and we're kind of just babbling amongst ourselves. My friend's going, oh, do you think he actually knows that guy? Or like, I don't know, man. He could just be completely fucking with us. It wouldn't surprise me. So sure enough, like, we look over. He's like, holy crap, man. Yeah, that is Paul Sams. He's just having a chat with them over there. He's not just like, oh, hey, great to meet you. He's like, yeah, like, everything looks good. Like, just chatting about the convention itself. And so at this point, we're like, this guy has to be legit. Like, you don't just walk up to that guy and just start having a casual conversation as there's this madness of people trying to get seats and whatever else is going on. Opening ceremony goes on, Overwatch trailer comes out, and we're freaking out just like everybody else was freaking out at the cinematic, the gameplay reveal. And, when we're applauding, I kind of look to my side, and this guy that we've been talking to the whole time he's just smiling, looking at Paul Sam's direction, who was sitting just on the other side of us in a different section. And he's looking back at them, and they're just kind of nodding their heads like, yeah, they loved it. We knew they'd love it. So what does that mean? That means to me that Blizzard had to absolutely know something as far as why are they not doing a WoW expansion at BlizzCon? Why? Like, that is their baby. So they're moving this for some reason, and we got to figure out what the heck that reason is. I think I could have won that game. Fuck. In any case, my belief is that there is going to be something coming down the wire for BlizzCon 2015 that we have no idea about. There's no trademark filed. We know nothing about this. Nobody expected Blizzard to come out with an Overwatch first-person shooter game. Everybody was expecting tower defense, maybe a new RTS. First-person shooter for Blizzard? No way. Now, it's up to you to decide, is Overwatch the big project, or is Overwatch the small project that this guy had been talking about? I'll leave the speculation up to you guys. That's my story. I'm putting it on the internet for anybody to criticize, comment on, chat with me about what you think that is. But I believe that Blizzard was not going to move their baby, World of Warcraft, their expansion, from BlizzCon to another convention without something planned. So I'll leave that up to you guys. Thanks for sticking through if you listen to the whole story. I have also posted the story elsewhere. I'll try and find you guys some links and post that in the description. That's it. It's up to you to believe it or not. But that's why I'm still hyped for BlizzCon. So stay tuned and keep a close eye on anything on MMO Champion, Twitter, hints from devs. If they're being cryptic about stuff, they probably know something too, and they probably know it's bigger than anything any of us can imagine.